So as you might be able to tell, this particular feast is one of my favorites. One of my longest standing devotions is prayer to what we call the poor souls in purgatory. And you heard me explain the idea of doing restitution for our sins. And a lot of people object to that idea because they say, well, Jesus' death on the cross is our restitution for all of our sins. That's why he died. But remember, if you take all of the teachings of Jesus, not just any isolated verses, Jesus teaches us that God, yes, is merciful, but God is also just. So we have to balance that, because if we just accept that Jesus did all the penance for us, then really it gives us license to go out and do whatever we want and just tell God, I'm sorry, and then it's all okay. There has to be some restitution for the sins we commit. And as I said earlier, we never know when the scales balance. That's why we're called to offer prayers and to do penance and sacrifice. We offer masses for the deceased, as many of you do and continue to do, so that they will be brought into God's eternal presence, that eternal vision of entering. And remember, God is the fullness of all love. So no one can enter God's presence if they have any taint of selfishness still in them. I don't know where you are, but I'm glad that there might be a chance after I die to be more fully purified before entering heaven. Now remember, once you get to what we call purgatory, you can't go to hell. Purgatory is a state of purification before we enter the very presence of God. Now, how do we do that? Yesterday, as I said, was All Saints' Day, and we heard there the Gospel of the Beatitudes. And if you were around, or if you heard it either here or online, I talked about the fact that if you picture your soul as a highway to God, well, the guardrails of that highway form the 10 Commandments. And I said then, and I repeat, when you break a commandment, you know you're off the road. But tonight's gospel, you know it well. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. So if the guardrail are the commandments, the center line is the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, and the meek, and the humble, and so on. You know all of them, I hope. Now, on your highway to God, where are you at the moment? Most of us are closer to the guardrails, almost breaking the commandments, than we are to the center line, which is the Beatitudes. Those people that walk their lives fully, living out all of the 8 Beatitudes. And if you don't know them from memory, go to Matthew chapter 5 and go through them. Those who follow all of those 8 Beatitudes fully, they are living completely down the center line, directly to God. That's what we call the saints. As I said, maybe I'm just making a confession, I'm not on the center line. So that's why I hope that when I die, there is a chance of purification. Because Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. That's the way we get into the presence of God, by walking down that highway, that spiritual highway to our God. And that's what Paul was talking about in the second reading. This life is a tent. We all know that, implying that eventually, like a tent, you go camping. When you get home, what do? You fold it up, put it away. And even here in Wisconsin, all those big fancy recreational vehicles, well, now that it's getting to be winter, most of them are in storage or in the backyard with a tarp over it. It's still temporary. And where do we go? We go to live in our home. Well, similarly, spiritually, one day we're going to have to fold up this tent, and we go to live in God's house, heaven, his home. But if there's need of purification, hopefully there will be people praying for us. Because as I said at the beginning, we believe in a communion of saints. We can help those who need our prayers and sacrifices to further their purification. The saints can help us on our journey of life. and we can all help one another, that more and more one day we will see that great God of ours face to face, to have the vision of eternal life forever. That's what we hope and pray now for our beloved ones who have died. And we hope one day that will also be part of our heritage, to see God face to face in love forever.